What's up, guys? With an exciting 2025 season already started, kicking off the Vignette Podcast, we have a few different things that we're going to be changing up, but there is one thing that we're going to be sticking with, and that is our partner, CNA Pro Skis. They've been with us for the last couple years, supporting the Vignette Podcast. So if you guys are in need of any skis for any application, hit up caproskis.net and grab yourself a set. So with the Vignette Podcast, we're going to be hitting up each national, doing a podcast with each rider that we have chosen or talked to that wants to be on the podcast for that weekend, and also in the Midwest Snowcross Regional Series. I'm excited for you guys to be joining in on this journey, Chapter 2 of the Vignette Podcast. Let's jump right into it.
My exit from Snowcross ended pretty drastically. We showed up to Dubuque that last weekend, and there was rumors of the team shutting down, all finish racing. And I asked, and when we left, didn't have a job.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh with Paparazzi Imaging and Films, and my buddy Tom is here with me. We shot Snowcross for a couple of years together. He helps me with a lot of graphic design work, but he also was in Snowcross for a little while, working with 3 different teams, I do believe, right?
Oh, it was more than that.
Okay, a handful of teams, let's say. But yeah, he's on the show with me for this episode, so welcome, Tom.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. You might want to get the mic a little bit closer to your, so you can.
Thanks for having me.
This is not ASMR. Ew.
Yeah, right.
Ew.
Right.
Ew. So, what's going on after your exit from Snowcross last season?
Well, it was 2 seasons ago.
Oh, 2 seasons ago. Wow.
2 seasons ago.
Okay.
So my exit from Snowcross ended pretty drastically. We showed up to Dubuque that last weekend, and there was rumors of the team shutting down, all finish racing. And I asked, and when we left, didn't have a job. So put a bad taste in my mouth, and we just decided to move on with life.
All right.
Life out after Snowcross is, you got a kid, you got a wife, I got another kid on the way, and we're just playing it day by day.
That's crazy. Yeah, talk about big life change, big drastic switch from I don't even know how you would say it, but you were so involved in Snowcross when I first met you in 2020, and that was like your jam. And now it's like you kind of switched roles a little bit, like you said, with the kid, working at a dealership now, not really being involved in Snowcross as much, and
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that when I left, I had to make a decision. I was either going to go back and do it, or I was going to just focus on family. And let's be honest, Snowcross takes a toll on us.
Oh yeah,
we're only home 27 days a winter, and
yeah,
you only get to see your kid 27 times. I mean, and then FaceTime and Snapchat, that's it. Yeah. So it was a time for a change.
Yeah, for sure. And I completely agree with me having, my firstborn. It's like, it's a totally different view on just like everything. It is a complete switch up. And I don't know, you look at it a different light, like, all right, I'm not doing it for myself anymore. I'm doing it for, my kid. And, I think it actually, I don't know, relight the fire a little bit more. So,
Yeah. I mean, some people don't understand that. And some people do with Snowcross. I mean, with the teams and the parents and the kids, they're with each other every weekend. Mm-hmm. We're not. We're leaving our families, driving across the country to go make content. And it's great to do it, but it also sucks.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, we're grateful for the experiences and people we've met along the way. And now it's time to be a different person.
Right. Yeah. Isn't change incredible?
Change is great, but, we all need it. Mm-hmm. We do.
For sure. And you worked for a couple teams throughout the season. So let's start off. You started off with Zandstra?
First, so this was 2019. Yeah, 2019. I don't know.
2019, 2020.
Yeah, 2019, 2020. First team I started with was Zanstra, so that's when Yerk was riding with them.
Oh, that was 21.
No.
Because 2020 was the year of COVID and you didn't do snowcross.
Yeah. Yeah, so it would have been
21.
2021, whatever. So it was Zanstra. And then I had, the other teams on the side I had worked with, like Hammers and Hilmersons and some privateer people. And then we did some stuff over the years with, 1-3.
Yep.
And, helped you out along the way when you needed stuff because you're a busy guy.
That I am.
But, and then we came into that last season with All Finish.
Yeah.
And that was, we'll kind of dive into that one a little bit.
For sure.
So, we've worked with a lot of people along the way.
Pretty much the whole snowcross
pretty much
series.
The whole snowcross series. There's teams I haven't worked with.
Yeah.
Like Juddy.
Henches.
Yeah. But I was with Kraychek 1 year too. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
When Teo was around. Miss our Frenchie.
Yeah.
But we've worked with a lot of people and met a lot of great people along the way. But yeah, there really isn't, I don't think anybody that I haven't worked with or met along the way or people that I've given stuff to or they wanted stuff. And,
right.
It's kind of like you, we kind of do everything, do it all.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm missing anybody.
No, I don't think so either. Well, probably Warner's.
Yeah, haven't done stuff with them.
Yeah, I don't think you did. There was Thien. Did you do stuff with Thien?
No. That
was the year that you exited. They came in.
No, because you were with Thien, and I was around.
Yeah, that was 2021
yeah,
though.
No, I never did stuff with Corey or any of those guys.
Yeah.
And then obviously when Skokwist came in, never did anything with them. But, it was mostly I kind of stayed around Articat.
Yeah.
That was kind of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I guess, how it is.
You bleed green.
I bleed, well, depending on the day. So, yeah, I guess I'm not missing anybody, I don't think.
Yeah, for sure.
I
think there was a lot more privateers than there was teams, though.
There was a lot of privateers, and that's one thing that I kind of wanted to focus with myself. I had 5-6 different people, and you were on track from 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning with juniors all the way to 10 p.m., and then we're staying up till 3-4 a.m. driving through the night.
Yeah.
But I come from that background where I raced ice ovals myself. As a smaller privateer team, you care about the people that are trying to essentially expose you.
Right.
And that's where, in my marketing background, it was in my head, not that I don't care about the big teams. They need the stuff too, but you also got to remember those little people.
Right.
Because they only get to the top with the exposure.
Right.
They can win constantly, and the parents can post pictures from their iPhone, but if they don't have a supporter behind them,
right,
they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and without media, you're not going to have any sort of sponsorships or anything like that. Yeah.
As far as teams, you're the same way. You've worked with big teams, privateers.
Yeah, pretty much everybody. Yeah.
You're kind of a big deal.
I guess in a sense, but I don't see it that way. I just ride the wave, and I'm on that high, and I'm really enjoying where I'm at, working with the the manufacturers that I have, and supporting them and doing all the content, especially CNA, doing their big promo for the TMX that came out not about 2 months ago.
I'll stop you there. That was wild. When you told me you were going to the mountains, I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Can Josh ride a snowmobile?
I can and I cannot. I'm a little dated when it comes to riding because I have not rode moto in quite some time, and a sled is a whole different animal. But, we made it through. I hit a tree.
I know.
Flipped the sled into a big, huge hole that was probably 10 feet deep, but the guys helped me get out.
You sent me a text message saying, what's the price on an A-arm? I was like, oh boy.
An A-arm and a bumper, yeah. So I think we all make mistakes and we all got to learn from them. And that was my big learning curve is if you're aiming for a tree, not throttle, don't hit the throttle.
Don't hit the throttle.
Like jump off or do something else. Don't hit the tree. But, like I said, the guys that I went out with, Scott Iyer, Hayden, all them guys, Ryan from CNA, they all were like, dude, you're doing the best that you can. And I was on a sled that was fucking 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like it was an old M8000 or whatever. I don't even know how old it is, but it was like, the tack was not working. And I think Ryan told me it had 10,000 miles on it or something like that. And it was just tacked out. So granted, I might not have been on the best sled, but I got to ride with some of the best dudes.
Just clapped and brapped,
Dude.
That's...
Clapped and brapped, yes.
Yeah, I mean, let's...
This short break is brought to you by our fine friends at CNA Pro Skis. Whether you're on the mountainside, looking to elevate your riding skills, or even just outride your buddies, CNA has stepped up the game and made the new standard for mountain riding skis. The new TMX ski is going to make your sled handle the best out on the mountainside. Scott Iyer, Jaden Ballard, Hayden Troop, and Mav Walker all ride on this ski. And we all know that you guys know these exceptional riders on the mountainside. And they have a handful of other skis for different applications from snowcross, watercross, trail, and any other application that you are looking for. Hit up caproskis.net and get yourself a brand new set of skis and custom skis at that.
If there was one thing that you could start off with for somebody that says, hey, I want to go out and take stuff for snowcross or go do this or go do that, what's one thing that you would tell somebody to stay away from?
That's coming into snowcross, that's doing media.
Yep.
Stay away from thinking that you're the best. Like go in with no expectations and don't step on anybody's feet.
I was just gonna say, don't step on my fucking toes.
Yeah, don't do that, and don't think that you're some hot shot guy that's gonna come in and make it big time, because you're not. And that's in life in general. You're not gonna make it big time if you're just thinking that you're going to be on top of the world and riding your high horse, because you're not. I didn't come into snowcross by a whim. I came into snowcross by meeting people and talking and delivering stuff that I think was presentable to people that would want amazing content. My background is motocross, and the way that I got into snowcross was by, like I said, meeting people, and a guy helped me out get into it. I did the East Coast stuff for a little while, for 2.5, 3 years, and then I just kind of met people in the nationals, and that's how it all happened. So again, going back to your point, don't step on anybody's toes. Don't think that you're riding this high horse and that you can go and buy a camera from Best Buy and think that you're going to create this bomb content, because it doesn't happen like that. It's all about consistency. It's all about building a brand, building your name, and not making enemies.
Yep. And that's where I'll just be honest with you. I mean, I might not be on tour anymore. I still see everything.
Yeah.
I see every person out there. I see every little bit of content that's being put out there. And I'm not going to throw names right now.
Yeah.
But there is one out there that came in that last week into Duluth that got track access. And I'm standing there and I'm like, how in the hell?
I was asking the same thing.
And as somebody who, we've worked our way up so far, and then you just get these little peons.
Mm-hmm.
And they just come in and just, oh, I got this and this and this and this. I don't care.
Right.
We have our own stuff to do.
Yeah.
And that, I think, in my eyes, is what's going to ruin things down the road.
For sure.
It's not safe. It's not, essentially, it takes money out of everybody's pocket, because that person's going to come in and charge $125 for a little edit.
Yeah.
Right. And, we'll dive into, pricing and whatnot, but when you charge $125 for something that should cost $4,000 for a whole production, not only do you take money out of everybody else's pocket, but your quality is ass.
For sure. Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Not throwing shade, but just being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think I don't miss about it.
Yeah.
Don't have to deal with it, but
I listened to this guy. His name's Bedro Koulian, and he's got his own podcast, and he goes in and out of like certain situations on how to make money, competition, and there was one thing that really stuck out to me on the one podcast that he did, and it was competition, and he was saying that some people say competition's good, and he disagrees with that. You don't want competition because then that's a way of them taking away money from you, and you just want to stomp your competition. Where I thought the opposite. I always said competition was good because it makes you better as a person, and you're always going to be trying to be the top dog and better that person when it comes to whatever you're doing in life. So with that being said, yeah, I like the word that you used, the little peons that come into the series and is like, oh, I'm going to be here and I'm going to make $50 in the edit or $150 in edit. And you're taking away the purpose of creating an atmosphere for these people where people that are doing it for a purpose and trying to build a brand and build up sponsorships or even have a really good product for these people, that you're going to come in and you're going to undercut, and then you're going to destroy that atmosphere that I just built so then these people can have a better outlet for their sponsorships and for the series as a whole. Because if you're going to come in and disrupt this atmosphere, then really you don't belong there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, in my eyes, it's like, you think you're going to do a good job. Well, I've been here longer than you have, and you think you're going to do a good job? No, because you don't see the value that I see it as. And whether you're in it for the long haul or for the shortcoming, don't even step into the realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is very aggravating. I spend freaking $30,000 to $50,000 on camera equipment, and you're gonna come in here with your stupid iPhone or your Sony camera, and then you're gonna think that you're top dog. No, dude, get the hell out of here. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't fly with me.
No, and I was the same way too.
And disclaimer, I'm not trying to say that I'm the best. I'm just saying how it should be.
Exactly.
And the way that it is, because those types of people should not be in this series.
And here's the deal, when we go back to that side of people in the series that don't belong there, they don't come from a background. They don't come from any background. They may have went out to a motocross track and thought, hey, let's go try snowcross. But like I've always said, this is our house. Yeah. Don't open the door and come in. Right. And, with me being gone, I don't care what I say. Yeah. It's...
tread lightly because you might come back.
Right. It's one of those things that you have to respect somebody else's house when you come into it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. And when I'm seeing all these new people come in and just seeing it from the sidelines now, I'm like, no, that's not right. Right. Yeah. There was a guy 2 years ago. I can't remember his name, but he was like a damn magnet to me and you, and he would just follow us around. We would go to one spot, or I would go somewhere, you would go somewhere, and it's like he just followed us around. And I can't remember the kid's name, but that's beside the fact. We're out here working, we're doing our own thing, and we're in a whole mindset of, if we don't either get this shot for the customer, or we need to do this or capture this or behind the scenes stuff, that throws our whole mental game off. Right. You constantly have to sit there and worry about, there's another person sitting here. Wonderful. Right. But there's people out there, like Brody and Zach and Crystal and Andy. Everybody respects everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of, I don't know. I have a hard time with new people.
Yeah.
Big time.
I agree.
That's just me.
I
I'm kind
agree.
of an ass, so
You kind of look like a donkey.
so yeah. What else do you want to dive into?
I don't know. Like maybe like what's your take on snowcross nowadays that you're looking from the outside in? Like is it growing? Is it not? Is it stagnant? Is it, like, is the media that's being put out there for snowcross doing a good job? Where could it potentially, be better? I don't know.
Flow needs to get their shit together.
There's people out there that say it's really good, and I watched it, and I'm just like,
I have 3 Flow accounts. Pay for all 3. All 3 of them suck. But I mean, maybe it's just the operator. Who knows? Other than that, I mean, snowcross. I think the thing snowcross really needs is we need pros. That's,
you can't help when everybody get hurt.
That's exactly it. No, she's not. Oh, yeah. I told her she could.
What happened?
No, you just asked if she can get in her office. I said,
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. Don't show the damn gray hair, okay? That's not cool. That's why
Is that red light still on?
Yeah, it's still on.
Funny. Don't show the gray hair.
But I don't... As far as snowcross goes, I feel like snowcross is missing something. And I don't know if it's the traction from the media itself. But I feel like, so when I showed up at Duluth,
yeah.
Right? I didn't tell anybody I was going. I mean, you knew and maybe 3 or 4 other people.
Right.
But I showed up and what I saw was on that Friday, there was nobody there. Granted, yes, Friday is a work day. I do understand that.
Yeah.
But even into the night show, there was more people that trickled in.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like with Duluth coming back, it seemed like there should have been way more than what was there.
And you're saying Friday?
Friday. Saturday was a packed house.
Yeah, well, that's how it is, though. Like, Friday always seems like it's kind of, I wouldn't say dead. Like, there's just not as many people. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a good amount to fill the seats, but there's not as many people as there would be on Saturday, per se, because, one, kids are still in school.
Right.
Parents still have to work, and I'm sure that, there's other obligations next to, whatever other family needs that people have,
Yep.
So Saturday is more so, all right, let's go to the snowcross race. Let's, check it out. Let's get back to the roots. Mm-hmm. But that's just my take. I don't know.
I think the other thing that snowcross
it's not Fargo. It's not like what happens at Fargo here.
What? We freeze our asses off?
Yeah. And there's no fans.
Listen, okay. Sorry, we can't help it. For those of you that don't know, I live in Fargo, and it is cold as hell here. I never wish it upon anybody.
By the way, this podcast is not sponsored by Dakota Cat. It is sponsored by CNA. Check out CNAProSkis.net to get your custom skis. Heck yeah. Yes, he does live in Fargo.
I don't ever wish it upon anybody to live here. I still question why I live here. Winters suck. But the big thing that I think snowcross is missing. So when I was a little kid,
I think they're missing you.
A lot of people. Okay, I'm going to stop that. That first, I made a post on my Facebook about we weren't returning, right? And
you broke my heart.
I know. My DMs blew up. My Facebook messages and text messages are, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. And that was it. I kind of left everybody in the dark.
You did.
Including you.
Oh, dude, I was brokenhearted, man. I didn't know what to do.
I didn't respond to messages. I didn't open group chats. You're in group chats with me, and I didn't open those messages. I went quiet because I felt it was time for us to step away. But, back to the topic.
Yeah.
So I think snowcross, when I was a kid, we always went to the snowcross races, right? Mm-hmm. Way back in the day in Fargo, they had it here at the baseball diamond. It was colder than you know what, of course.
Yeah.
But what the teams did is, like Tucker gave away fan experiences, right? You get to go in the trailer, you get a shirt and a hat, and you get to go do a track tour and all this other stuff, and nobody is doing that.
Wow. That what's funny is me and Jamie talked about this.
And even like Blair Morgan, for example, too, used to do it. We raced. I did do snowcross when I was younger. We raced in the Fargo Dome here, and it was the same with Blair and all these other guys. Even when Yamaha was around, they brought people into their trailers, and they made it about the fans more than themselves.
Right.
And now, how we're seeing some of this, and now it's different for me being on the outside looking in.
Yep.
Some of these team owners don't care.
Right.
And you get a kid that's never been to a snowcross race, and they see these guys pulling the sleds out on the rails, and they're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
These team owners and these teams need to be the bigger person and be like, hey, come on in.
Right. Check it out.
They need to make it more about the fans than what it is right now.
Yeah, and to tail off of that is, what was it, 2022 or 2023, I think it was. It was the last year before Elias moved over to Skogwest, I think.
Okay.
2022. Or no, 20...
It
was the 2023 season.
Okay.
I think it was. Last season, it was. Anyways, he did the ditch banger. He did opening ceremonies, and then Thien had his ditch banger sled up on the lift gate. Like, I shot that whole quick segment. I posted it up. Blew up, dude. So, like, having that stuff and bringing, again, the audience, the fan base, everybody in to see what's going on is going to accelerate snowcross. Like, me and Jamie Chaney were talking about this, and I'm like, Tugger Hibbert era, he had his own autograph booth, dude, after the races. And I was like one of the fans. I was like, me and my dad went to Salamanca in 17, and I'm like, Dad, you got to go give me an autograph. Like, I was fanboying over him, totally a freaking kid that was shooting snowcross, and I wanted his autograph. I just didn't know when he was going to retire. So then my dad gets the autograph, and I'm just like mesmerized. I was like, this is wicked. I got to shoot pro mod guys, and then I got Tugger autographs. So it was just like, it was cool. And I think that's what snowcross needs to bring back, is like the old stuff that they used to do. Besides just doing the rider introductions, like, implement all the stuff that brought in the fan base. Pro mods are not coming back.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
Dickhead.
But, have more interactions with the fans, or even bring in like an old pro mod sled and start it up in the pits or something. There's many things that snowcross, the promoters can do to help grow the sport, but it's just like, are they worried about financials? Are they worried about that it might hurt the sport?
Right.
I don't think anything that you can do right now is going to hurt the sport. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. And how I look at it as, too, there's people that have never been to a snowcross race. And there's some people that aren't fortunate enough to get to one. And some of those people are given tickets, whether it's from work or a distributor or whatever. Right.
And they take their kids and they're just kind of hanging out, right? Mm-hmm. And as snowcross, I would just randomly go give pit passes out if it was me.
Yeah.
Because you see a kid just sitting there and seeing, oh, this stuff is so cool.
Right.
Take the next step and make it about them.
Yeah.
I personally, if it was me, the racing side of it is just the added part.
Yeah, for sure.
The fans are what makes it revolve.
Right.
Yeah, the racing does with the money and so on and so forth, but let's be honest, there's not a ton of money in it.
Right.
So I think it's just they need more fan-based stuff to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a nice little coloring zone for the kids or whatever, but there's got to be something else to make it more fun.
Yeah.
Like, God, I don't even know what else there could be, but, they do these rides in the groomer, right?
No, they don't do that no more.
And that's the thing. They used to be more interactive, and then we're just
scaling it back.
I think
it's more so. I think it's more so they're on the time schedule of the live racing. So
what time schedule? Because we all know how that goes.
yeah, I know. Valcourt was 2 hours and 15 minutes behind, and then some other races are half an hour, 45 minutes. But even so, I think they're more worried about the live broadcast than they are what's going on outside the live broadcast. When Ram was sponsoring, they had you put your name in the freaking kiosk, and then they do a drawing of, we'll give you a t-shirt, and then you could win a Ram truck at the end of the year. Like that sort of stuff. Or even when Traxxas was involved, they had a little Traxxas booth where
Yep.
like that stuff is wicked cool. And even bringing back the groomer rides, or even having a freestyle show. Dude, you know how badass that would be? Like having Brett Turcotte, or even that one dude from Sweden that's doing the freaking
Andreas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doing the whips on the freaking sled. Like, have them guys come down and be in the live show. Like, maybe broadcast a little bit on the flow, but have it more so it's live action in front of your face. Or even have Nitro Cross come in. Or Nitro Circus. Like, there's so many opportunities.
Yeah, and there's got to be that next step for entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes, it's about snowcross. But if they start to lose fan retention, somebody goes to a race and they don't want to go next year because they're like, oh, it's boring.
Yeah.
Right? You need that one little thing that's going to keep that person around.
Right.
And again, we go back to the Tucker and Blair era. I mean, if you guys want some great notes, go back to the WSA days. I mean, those were the days.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think just fan experience.
Yeah.
You're probably the same way too. I'm sure there's other things that.
There's a million things.
It'd be different if it was coming out of my pocketbook, but.
I think just more corporate sponsors, like don't go after the same people that everybody else is going after, like I don't know, try to get Red Bull, try to get an energy drink sponsor, or even Warner had the Baja beef jerky, and now, there's only one beef jerky sponsorship in snowcross. Like, having those people involved and trying to maybe cross-pollinate the sponsorship into doing summer stuff, so it's like, all right, we're getting more bang for our buck. The ROI is in here, so there's many different ways of looking at it. I don't know. But from a media standpoint, I kind of digress.
I mean, hey, to each his their own.
Yeah, there's only so much I can do, and I feel like I do so much. I'm not trying to blow smoke up my own ass, but
And that's true. You are running 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
On a weekend, and that's what people don't see.
I don't really want them to see.
He's not pretty when he runs, so
no. I look like Jack Sparrow.
Oh, what else is a big thing that? Okay, let's bring. So, me and you, I mean, we were like partner in crime.
Yeah, for sure.
We were like Bonnie and Clyde, Tommy Boy and what's David Spade's Richard, Richard. We drove how many thousands of miles over the winters?
Oh, dude, it's probably got to be like 30,000.
And we would get there, and we'd maybe have a couple hours of sleep the whole weekend.
Oh yeah.
And then somehow our asses would be like, "Hey, we're gonna leave Deadwood and drive 9 hours home, plus another 3 for you." And I don't know how we did it. Like, that was.
What's the slogan for Nike? Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
You just do it.
Just do it. And I think that's one of the things that I miss the most. I really don't miss snowcross. I think I miss the people about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's where, when we talked about doing this, I'm like, well, this is just one of those that I'm on the outside and we can shed some light on some things and really dive into what goes on. I don't think that there's nothing bad about it, but I also think that people need to understand what we have to go through, you know?
Yeah, it's not the average. It's not what people think. Like, oh yeah, you set up a camera and then you go shoot. Oh yeah, you just drive. It's more so like, think of it as an operation of. I don't know. I don't even know how would you compare it to, like. Let's say you want to put a team together. What are the things that you need to put a team together? You need
$3 million.
Yeah, you need a budget. You need a manager. You need riders. Crew, but the crew, the riders, the manager, the financial advisor is all in ourselves.
Yeah.
So that point, I don't think people understand unless you're in it. Obviously, the team managers and the owners and those type of people understand it, but I don't know how well, because it's like when they're done, they go unload the semis, they clean the sleds, they maintain them, but we're on the computer 24 hours a day.
Oh, yeah,
like, I shouldn't say 24 hours a day because we got to sleep, but there's more than 40 hours of work throughout the week that we do. Is probably close to 60 or 70 hours a week, just making sure that content that we deliver is good, or we're, making sure we have content for the next weekend, whether it's time cards or whatever the case may be, or if we're just trying to pump out content for ourselves on our social channels, So yeah, there's a lot more into it than people realize, and it's not just, oh, you click a button like everybody says, oh, you push the throttle on a sled. No, you don't do that. You don't just twist the throttle on a dirt bike and go. No, it's more so like you got to have a creative mind. You got to have a creative outlet. You got to make sure you got the right tools in your toolbox to create that content that you want. And like you said, you went to school for it. So like, that's another thing that you had to do to make sure that you're, you have that ability to sell people and market and know what people should see and, what you can put out for the world. So it's like, it's not as easy as everybody thinks, and you should shed some light on that as well, aside from my point of view, because I'm self-taught.
And it's, granted, yeah, I got 3 college degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I got a degree in graphic design, a degree in photography, and a minor in business management. So I got everything.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy just to go send an email and say, hey, I want to go take pictures, right?
Yeah.
I worked my ass off to get where I was. But at the end of it, I got. But, there's a lot of work that goes into it, like you said. We don't just show up and say, hey, and go party and drink and do all this stuff.
Right.
I mean, we're constantly working.
Mm-hmm.
We're on our phones. Our laptops are always up.
Right.
We're tired. We're this and that. We really never bitch about it, and
No.
Yeah, well.
Maybe you did.
Maybe I did,
didn't.
but,
I enjoyed what I did.
But I drove the whole way and you slept.
I did not. What the frig are you talking about? Deadwood, we split up, didn't we?
Yeah, we split up. And then we hit an ice storm.
Yeah.
Yep, that was not fun.
No.
But, having all that background and to get where we were, there's so much that goes into it. We're the ones that are pushing these teams' content out to make sure their sponsors have stuff, to make sure they look good. We're doing all their press releases. The stuff doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
My big thing was all about timing.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you have to, it's all got to be done.
It's all about timing. So, yes, we show up on an average race weekend on, Thursday mid-mornings, give or take, depending on where we're at.
Depending on,
Yep. We show up Thursdays, and the moment we hit the grounds, work has started.
Yep.
That first day, all the time cards are done, any behind-the-scene content to get everything rolling for the weekend.
Right.
We still don't go to bed on the first night before racing starts until 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah. And even so, that's a rough one because we're going to bed so late and we don't even have to hit the track until 10.
Yeah. And even we don't have to hit the track till 10. We're still up at 6 in the morning doing stuff. So we're not even getting 12 hours of sleep in a whole weekend.
Right.
And once Saturday hits, all hell breaks loose.
Mm-hmm.
For you, not only are you doing video, but you're also doing photo.
Yeah.
So you're playing double duty.
Yeah.
Where me, I hate video. You know it. I don't have an issue shooting it, but the moment it comes into Premiere Pro, I might as well just turn my computer off and hire it out.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. You know, and where you're playing double duty, you're having to make sure that not only do we have time cards, but we have updates throughout the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have edited photos for each rider.
Yep.
And you have, God, more teams than I can even think of, and privateers and this and that. And
yeah, I probably got a handful of privateers. I got five manufacturers, like 4 teams. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those that there's some times where we don't even eat. This isn't being a sob story or any of that.
No, absolutely not.
When we hit the track, the only thing we have on us is a water bottle and maybe a granola bar.
Yeah.
That's about it. And when we go back to the hotel and start working, we miss supper.
Yeah.
Our brains are just operating differently that, hey, we miss supper and it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, for sure. And there's sometimes that I didn't sleep because you're snoring.
Okay, listen. Okay, sleep apnea is a bitch.
I tried to go to sleep before you so that I wouldn't have to fall asleep to it or not get any sleep at all.
Oh,
you know,
my bad. I mean, I'm sure your winter was nice and quiet this year.
It was very peaceful.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't have to share a bed with anybody.
We never had to share a bed. That's one thing. We stayed in bougie places.
Yeah. There was always room for activities.
Oh, yeah, lots of room. Beds. But you know, I think the other thing that people don't understand is the marketing side.
Mm-hmm.
When we're done on that weekend, we're not really done.
No.
You're constantly editing all week until you leave again. I had to have press releases done by Monday at 8 a.m., so I was constantly trying to get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't have the right stuff, we're going to piss somebody off.
Yeah, but you're never going to make everybody happy.
No, we're not.
No.
So, I mean, that's, I don't know, even with a background, it's still not easy.
No, because and this is just my 2 cents. I feel like having a background, like you have a background now more so in the field than you did just having a degrees, where if you didn't go to college to get those degrees, I feel like you would have been a little bit higher and you would have excelled a little bit faster, rather than having to build the brand from the ground up, Right. So I don't know. That's a hard one because
I'll be honest with you. If I was to tell somebody, if somebody said, "Hey, I want to go to school for marketing," I'd tell you don't.
That's what I say.
I spent $70,000 to have 3 pieces of paper that says congratulations. You can draw a shape, take a picture, and tell somebody to do something.
Yeah.
That's all my pieces of paper say.
Yeah.
I would tell them, don't go to school.
Right.
If it was you, I would just push.
You know what's funny you say that is because my buddy Hunter that has a clothing brand. Snow Child. Yep. He was at the Salamanca New York National, and he had a guy there shooting for him or helping him do some content because I was so busy. I was like, I'm not doing anything with you this weekend, and I'm not playing when I say that I have so many people, that I work for. But his buddy came up to me and he was like, so I'm going to college for videography. I'm like, dude, why are you wasting your money? Why are you wasting your money? He's like, well, my mom told me that I had. I'm like, dude, screw that. Screw that. I'm not saying screw your mom. I'm just saying screw the idea of going to school for videography or photography or marketing or whatever, because realistically you're going to get out and you're going to be behind everybody else,
Absolutely.
know, and the camera is going to be there and your experience, you might take a few things out of college, but you're not going to take what you need in the field. They're not going to teach you how to approach businesses. They're not going to teach you how to edit the way that you think something looks. They're only going to teach you the basics. There's nothing wrong with learning the basics, but there's also a lot of things wrong with just learning the basics.
And you're 100% there, because when I went to school, there was no they never did on the fly change of settings, ISO, f-stop,
Yeah.
this and that. I mean, when we're in the dark and the light, I mean, we're constantly up, down, this, that. I learned more outside of college than I did in college.
Right.
All I did in college was go to class, drink, and go to bed. That's it. And I never should have done any of those.
Yeah. Hey, you live and you learn, right?
But I don't think nowadays, I mean, my kids, when they got older and if they wanted to say, hey, I want to go to school for this, that's great if you want to go to school for it. But I'm going to tell you, don't.
Right.
Right. If it's anything in the marketing and media stuff, start a brand, push it, and stay true to it.
Yeah.
For instance, yourself. I mean, look at where you started to where you're at now. And you have gone from here to way the hell up here,
Yeah.
and you still have a ton more,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And that's where I have the problem that I just kick myself in the nuts for. It's like, okay, I went to school and did all this,
Mm-hmm.
but what did I get out of it?
Yeah.
Student loans.
Wow.
But
yes and no.
yes and no. Yeah. But I think that, that's one thing that I will never, I'm never saying never, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll always support people that want to get into it.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
That's the big thing. However, if you jump in it and step on my toes, I'm not going to support you.
No,
And
absolutely not.
I'll make sure that nobody supports you.
Right.
Okay? Because that's me. I'm a dick. But at the same time, let's look at my brother, for example. Okay. Danny asked me all about cameras, this and that. He's got an engineering degree,
Mm-hmm.
but he just wanted to get in and start shooting photos. I said, you're asking me? That's fine. This, and this. I said, however, I'm not going to teach you though. You got to learn it on your own.
Yeah.
And
You want to learn how to walk, you got to do it on your own.
Exactly. He took it into himself and just ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll support it because he's not stepping on my toes, not trying to do this, do that, things he shouldn't. And I don't know. I think that's a good example right there is he did it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to do this, but how do I go about it?
Right.
Instead of sending people DMs on Instagram and giving them $50 edits
Right.
and this and that. And that just ruins it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If I look around here, he's constantly shooting dirt tracks and doing this and doing that. And I'm just like, good for you.
Right.
I have no interest in doing it in the dirt tracks, but at the same time, good for you. You did it how I should have done it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If I could go back 10 years, I'm old,
Oh, please.
Oh, dude, I turned 31 in July.
Dude, I'm older than you. I'm going to be turning 32.
32. I know. You're older than me.
Woo!
But you don't have gray hair.
So now you just pointed out your gray hair.
It's there.
Wow. And you told me not to put it in the video or into the podcast.
It's there.
Now you can't blame me for your mistakes.
Yeah, right. But the schooling aspect of it, I don't think is needed.
No.
I will say with my business degree, that helped me along the ways as far as figuring, taxes and all this other little shit out. But
Yeah, there's certain things that you should take.
absolutely. But I really didn't learn a ton from that either.
Right.
Again, I learned more outside doing my own thing than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, as far as like that goes for you, I mean, your background, all comes from moto and this and that. And I mean, can't remember. Do you have schooling?
Zero.
That's what I thought.
Well, I can't say that because
Well,
I took a film class my last year. No, it was my last 2 years, I think, of high school. But really the first year doing it, I was just effing around. I didn't really take it seriously because I wanted the art credit. And then the second year, my senior year, I was taking it very seriously because that's what I wanted to do. That's what I found passion in. And me not racing anymore led into me doing photography and video work. And I took myself to the next level and took the class to the next level of creating my own website, selling content, and doing very minimal film work, only the assignments that were needed. I created my own portfolio, and the teacher was like, I'm going to pass you with a 75, and I'm going to be teaching this stuff next year to my students. So you're already ahead of what I would want these kids to do. And I'm like, cool. Thanks for the credit, and thanks for passing me. Why I didn't get 100 is because I probably didn't do what he wanted me to do when it came to film work. But, that was the stepping stone for my ability to create what I thought was the world that I wanted to get into. And that was video and photo work, and ultimately, kickstarting my career in motorsports more so. So I think it's all self-taught. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I marketed myself to where I could make some money when I was in high school. So marketing, didn't go to school for it. Photography, I don't know. That's a shot in the dark. Video work, again, it's self-taught.
Yep. And we go back to that. It's the schooling isn't needed.
No, it's really not. The schooling that I tell people is go on YouTube. That is the true school that you need.
We all do it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I do it all the time. I hate Premiere Pro. When I can't figure out how to speed ramp something, I just did it the other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I need to speed ramp this for a transition.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to fucking do it.
Right.
Guess what? School of YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
But you're not wrong there. I mean, that's a good knowledge base.
It is.
Everybody's putting everything out there.
Right.
I mean,
for free.
For free.
For free.
And they're making money off it, but at the same time, some of those people are needed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's...
I know, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to just like to think back on it and say, like, how many years we've been doing it for, and then to see all the accolades and all the accomplishments that we've had and acquired throughout the years of doing this. How long have you been shooting for?
Let's see. I started, so when I raced ice ovals and everything, and I was doing dirt track stuff, so that was 2013 is when I started. And
what was your biggest accomplishment that you've had in your career?
I don't know. The bigger ones were World of Outlaws stuff. I was big with dirt track stuff.
Like, is that getting in, or is that actually like
working with teams?
Okay.
Like Shark Racing, so like Logan Schuhart and Jacob Allen, and I think that was just a nice stepping point that says, hey, you're really versatile.
Mm-hmm.
I really wouldn't even like big accomplishments, dude. I don't even know.
No.
There's nothing that I can think of off the top of my head that says, oh, sick.
I think being in the World of Outlaws is pretty badass. Like, having that, like, working with one of the biggest teams in World of Outlaws is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Like, when you showed me that world, I was like, holy crap, there's a lot of potential here. But it didn't really tickle my fancy like it did yours, because you grew up doing that,
And, let's stop you there. Your first World of Outlaw race was Knoxville.
Yeah, it was.
The biggest event center out of the United States, and your first event was Knoxville, Iowa.
Dude, you told me to try it out, so I tried it.
Yep. And
I don't know how well I did, but it was fun.
You got to try everything once, right?
For sure.
And that's one of those things that, like I said too, we're versatile,
mm-hmm.
And that's why we can do so many different things. But when we go back to that main part is, I don't know what I have for accomplishments, to be honest with you. Yes, motorsports is cool, and I've gotten to work with some big names.
Yeah.
And some companies like Fly and Stud Boy and so on and so forth, but I got nothing that I just am like, I did that, because the stuff that I have done and the teams I have worked with and the brands I've worked with, The brands are fine. There's nothing wrong with those companies I've ever worked with. The teams on the other aspect, I worked for 2 teams that are now shut down. What do I got to show for it? Because you're never going to see anything from those again. You know, my wall in my house is, yeah, cool. There's photos and stuff, but there's nothing that stands out anywhere that like, oh shit, you know,
for sure.
There is some stuff, you know, I did see a couple photos from Snowcross this year that it was some old Zanster stuff and, you know, some all finished stuff and whatnot. I'm like, sweet. Some of my stuff, but it didn't get me excited like it used to, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the same. What's your like biggest accomplishment?
Mine?
Yeah. I mean, I know your list is longer than mine.
Well,
but
I wouldn't say it's like a long list. There's a few notable ones that
like
I
when
really
you think of something that, hey, you know, how about we do this? How do you know that you made it, right?
Well, can I go off of my?
What can you go off of? Yep. What's that one thing that you see or can go back and look on and be like, hell yeah?
There's a few, but a couple notable ones would be making it on the cover of an international magazine and having a centerfold.
I have that magazine at home.
Yep.
That thing is badass.
Yep.
Was it Dirt? What one was it?
Oh, it was Dirt Wheels.
Dirt Wheels. That's what it was.
Dirt Wheels magazine.
That was Albert's quad.
Yep. My boy Trangizi, Al Trangizi, custom built quad. Went out to California for that one. Flew out there. Was gonna be at Glen Helen, but never made it. But we went out to what the hell was the track? LACR.
Okay.
Yep, it was freaking 5 hours from San Diego, I think, or maybe even a little bit longer now. But regardless, that was probably one of the biggest accomplishments that I've had. One of the moments of like, yeah, you pretty much made it because, you know, who else is on the cover of a magazine that you know of? Like my boy Cole Beach, he was on the cover of Racer X for a few times when he shot motocross. But, you know, I think when you get to that point of like you're on a cover of a magazine is pretty badass, you know? And then also all my great friends at CNA to go out to Montana, or not Montana, McCall, Idaho, and shoot their big promo for their new TMX ski, which is a pretty badass ski. We don't have one here, but
if you haven't seen it yet, you should go check it out because the drop, you sent me that drop in little teasers. You texted it to me, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. And then I see Ryan pushing a cart to another one. I'm like, just drop it already. Don't tease me like that.
You know, that's the way they wanted the cookie to crumble, and
that cookie crumbled great.
Oh yeah, I was very happy with that piece, and I'm very fortunate to know everybody at CNA and able to create a vision that they had. So I think those two really stood out to me as to know that I have the ability to create great content and is, you know, well-rounded. Like you said, I could go to any place to do anything that is needed. So, yeah, those would be the two.
Yeah. I'm still even just trying to wrap my head around like, God, what the hell?
Well, even just like I was saying earlier, working with some of the big teams in World of Outlaws is a big accomplishment because how many shooters are out there in the world? You know what I'm saying?
A lot.
Yeah.
There's more than we think that are out there.
Oh, there's, you know. Yeah, you scroll on Instagram, that's only probably 1% of it.
Right.
You know, and you send me shit from people that are doing freaking F1 and, you know, like, what's that one guy?
Vlad from F1, he does Red Bull stuff.
Yeah, so, like, I'm sure that's a big accomplishment for him, but if you were to get that gig, like, dude, that's why I don't stop. I do not stop. So that leads me into my next question for you. What is the next accomplishment for you?
This is one that I knew you were going to ask because you have asked me, like, when I told you I wasn't coming back to snowcross, you were down and out. I knew you were. You're kind of like, well, what the hell, man? What am I going to do?
Yeah, where's my co-pilot going?
Where's my co-pilot going? I can't sleep anymore while we're driving.
Dude.
But
Shut up.
oh, I got Snapchats and everything, dude.
Whatever.
But my next move for me is I don't have another one. As much as I would love to go back and shoot snowcross and this and that, I don't know if I could do another winter away. Now, we have another kid on the way that'll be here in a month.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really much more for me.
Why is that?
So
you're going to be stuck here at the dealership?
Well, I'm not selling anything. I just sit in my office and draw my shapes and do the marketing.
Well, selling is marketing.
Exactly. But I'm going to be honest with you. I lost my ambition after that last season of snowcross.
Mm-hmm.
I worked my ass off. And then...
You did, yeah.
We get shit on. And I think it's every year we fight with the same stuff over and over with. Teams want the stuff. They pay you half up front. And then it's a fight to get the money out of them in the end.
Mm-hmm.
We've given them everything. And I think when I left, I just threw it all away. I said, there's nothing more we're going to do. I have no ambition to go shoot dirt tracks. I don't know. As far as the next accomplishment, I mean, just be a great dad. That's about it, you know?
Hey, man, that's I think that's above all the accolades.
Yeah, and that's one of my things that now that when you really wrap your head around it and, you know, you have a newborn now and everything, your time is deviated up completely different.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's just one of those that I don't have anything else. You know? If I wanted to go back and shoot snowcross, could I? Yeah. Could I go shoot dirt cars next week if I wanted to? Yeah. Have I been asked to? Yeah. Do I want to? Kind of, but...
So the fire's still there.
The fire's still there. The candle's still burning.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not burning as strong as... The candle's still lit. It's me.
Mm-hmm.
I still got everything to do it. You know, I got my computers and cameras and everything. I never got rid of anything, and I won't.
Right.
Because I know down the road there's something that's going to pop up and be like, yep, you're doing it. You know? I think this year for me was a much-needed break, and it made me realize some things. But at the same time, it made me miss a lot of it. You know?
Yeah.
But the next thing for me is just family, you know, kids.
Well, let me ask you this. What if you did do, I'm just speaking out loud here. What if you did do dirt track this weekend, or if you did come back to snowcross and a different door opened for you and it looked completely different from what you did in the past? You know, would that rekindle, or would that make that flame burn even more? It
might, depending on what it was, you know.
What if it's something spectacular? What if you got offered $70,000 to travel the world?
To travel the world for $70,000, and if all my travel was paid for, sign me up.
Okay.
Sign me up. But
what if that happened?
Oh, well,
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, what if?
What if it happened? That would bring that fire right back up, because there's something to motivate me, right? I'm not saying I lost all motivation for it when I left, but I'll tell you, I lost a lot of it. I lost probably 80% of it.
Jeez.
Yep. Kind of put me in a little bit of a hole. You know, not like a hole financially, but it put me in a hole personally where I was like, did I really just do that?
Right.
Did I not go back because of somebody else wanted to be an ass because they weren't winning? You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I just said the hell with it. You know? I mean, for you, I mean, you are at a level where you have so much more to go, and where you're at, everybody wants your stuff.
I wouldn't say everybody
But
wants my stuff, but
the people that want the stuff understand that they got to pay for it,
for sure.
right? And the people that see it and they're like, oh, well, then now I want it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they see the price and they don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
And that's where I got to the point of they want to pay for it, but they don't want to pay what it's worth. You know, and I think that's...
Well, you got to weed out.
Yeah, and I think that's my issue I was having of wanting to go back. I just lost some motivation.
Well, yeah, you're at the top, and then you get kicked down, and you're at the bottom.
Oh,
again,
yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I get that. I get that 100%.
Shit happens, but, you know. Yeah, I mean, it would have to take something pretty big and drastic to light my fire back up.
But why does it have to be big and drastic? Why can't it just be like, oh, I'm gonna try this again, and then you're building those blocks up. I'm not trying to get you to do it. I'm just saying, like, my perspective of, the whole motto: you get knocked down, you stand back up. You fly like a butterfly, you sting like a bee. Like, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
I wouldn't say it. Not necessarily have to be massive, but if there was an opportunity that arose that said, hey, let's work with something. Mm-hmm. If it works for me, I'm not going to say no right off the bat, but
yeah,
I also, at this time in our life, I don't want to be gone for, months on end. I think that's my big thing. The last thing I want to do is leave Taylor at home and then I get a phone call or this and that.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, we were in Deadwood one year, and Oliver was, I don't know, I think this is Oliver's first year. He wasn't even one yet. Mm-hmm. But I got
Me and you were in Deadwood?
Yeah, we were in Deadwood, and Taylor was at home.
Yeah.
And I got a Snapchat from her, and he started walking.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, that stuff's tough, man.
That was like, I was on a really, really good roll that weekend. We were having a great time, and I got that, and I'm just like, this is bullshit. Mm-hmm. Is it really worth it?
Yeah.
In a sense, it is. It's worth it to be out there and doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
Because it's needed.
For sure.
But on my aspect, I was like, shit, I just missed my kids' first steps.
You really didn't, because she videoed it. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah, it is a big ego kick in the butt, because you're like, man, I should have been there for for my kid. But on the other sense too, like, look at it this way. Me and Madison, we talk about this all the time, is like, do you want your kid or whoever's looking up to you to be like, one day they could have been like, why didn't you just do that? You could have. I wish you would have done that, because then I would have been like, I would have had a different sense of, I don't know, opinion of you or something like that. Like, I want you to be a role model to me, and I want to look up to you, but you didn't do it, so now I don't know where to start. Like, that's the way that I look at it, is like, I'm gonna accomplish as much as I can, so then they could be like, wow, I got some big shoes to fill. Yep. But if he can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, look at it from both perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure Oliver is very happy that you are doing, or you had to do what you had to do, and same with Taylor. And, like, he's going to be proud of you no matter if you missed his first walk or not.
Yep.
Because you're his dad, and he's, you're his superhero.
So, yeah, whatever you want to call me, right?
Yeah, for sure. You're wearing red.
Yeah, right. Just give me the cape, and yeah. I mean, it's one of those that I would still keep the idea around. If somebody contacted me and said, hey, would you be interested?
Right.
I'm never going to shoot somebody down right away and say no. However, I did shoot you down.
Hardcore.
You asked me before the season started if I wanted to come back and shoot. You said, I need help.
I don't know how I did it. I did it, though.
And I felt really bad but I was like, I can't.
Thanks.
It's not that it was, again, it's not a financial deal. It was just a personal deal. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm just like, did I really just tell him no?
You
to
did.
go away from something that we spent
2 seasons,
3
3
full seasons with each other, working our asses off.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
For sure.
so I don't. I'm never gonna say no. Maybe ask me again this summer. We'll see how we're feeling. You know.
You want to come shoot snowcross this year?
Well, it is May 7th, so technically we're in the summer. Ask me halfway through the summer, and then we'll see how we really feel. You know, I will say that I felt weird being at Duluth, but it made me miss it just a little bit.
Yep.
You know what's so dumb is I had all my stuff with me. I didn't take
You said you were going to too.
I didn't take anything out of the cases. Brody even made the comment. He goes, "Go get your cameras." I'm like, "Give me a vest." He goes, "Okay."
Really?
And I never did it.
Wow. See, there's people out there that want you
I
to
know.
come back, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's not just me.
Oh yeah.
There's you. I think what happened is you made an impression on everybody, and you made a really good impression to where people really liked the vibe that you gave out. You know, you're like a teddy bear, dude. I'm not just saying that because you have a big freaking bushy ass beard, but
Because I'm a big bushy ass bitch, right? You
Sure.
know?
But no, you got a good personality. You're fun to hang out with, and you don't take shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
You're just an all around American badass.
American who lives in Fargo.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, whatever. That's your choice, not mine. I can't tell you what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, I know the boys in our one group chat where Joey, after I told him I wasn't going back, he was pretty pissed about it.
Yeah.
You know, but it is what it is.
For sure.
I'm not too worried about it.
For sure. This man, it's all he says.
I still am going to get a
It
shirt.
is what it is. That's
Yep.
whatever.
So what else do we want to touch on? You know, why don't we let's jump into some financials.
Sure.
I'll say it how it is.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, a lot of people think that, you know, we just buy the shit and just go do it and this and that, but it's a job. I mean, you are a good example because you're self-employed, right? You don't have another job.
No, it's my full-time gig.
When I was traveling with Snowcross, not only did I have all the teams on the weekend, I still had a normal job too.
Right.
I was working as a graphic designer, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, right? And when
Tuesday, Thursday, really?
well, yeah, pretty much Tuesday to Thursday in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yep. The summertime, you never see me in the summertime.
No.
I'm not around. My big thing is, and I'll just tell people,
Go
when
ahead.
I would send price sheets out, they're fully done in a nice pamphlet with what you're getting, so on and so forth. And everybody sees the prices. You know, I had packages that started at $5,000 for a whole season. $5,000 is nothing.
Right.
And I had packages that range from $20,000 to $30,000. And when the people saw what was in that $20,000 to $30,000, they wanted to pay it, and then they changed their mind.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Because they did not want to spend that much money. My last year of Snowcross, the contract I had was over $20,000. And I didn't get paid the full amount.
Nuh-uh.
Yep. I didn't get paid the full amount. You know, when we do this stuff, that's everything from the start. We got shop days, we got heydays, we got all the promotional material,
Right.
this and that. And a lot of that stuff comes out of our personal pockets right off the get-go,
Yep.
and we just bill them for it.
Right.
Well, if you get a bill, pay the damn bill.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You know? And that's where I have a problem with some of these larger teams. I loved working with the privateers because they were willing to pay, the $250 for a weekend.
Right.
There's many people where I charge them $250 for a whole weekend worth of stuff, and they got a $3,000 value.
Yeah.
Right?
They paid with a smile. Yeah.
And that's exactly it. And you get these larger teams and you give them a bill for $10,000 for halfway through the season.
Right.
Well, we got hurt riders. We got this. We got that.
Mm-hmm.
But you still got 2 other riders.
Yeah.
And you come to the end of the season and you're like, I just did all this for nothing.
Yeah.
So I think that's also part of my reason that I had a big time not wanting to go back is because I've been burned over the last couple of years. There's people out there that are great to work with, and they always will be. Mm-hmm. I'll just tell you, the people at Kraychek's were great.
Yep.
Never had an issue with John and those guys. They're great. Same with Hilmerson's in 1-3. Everybody knows, there was Zanstra out there.
Yep.
Everybody had their differences and whatnot. I mean,
yeah.
Without going into some more detail, but the big one was when you're spending all this money out of our own pockets, right? When somebody sees us walking around on a weekend, we're anywhere from $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 just hanging over our shoulders. Mm-hmm. On my setup, I have 2 cameras, and one side is $14,000, and the other side is $6,000, and there's more glass and this and that and drones, and I mean, we paid for that out of our own pocket.
Yeah.
Nobody else bought it for us. Nobody else owns it.
Yeah.
We own it.
Yeah.
And people don't see that part.
Right.
I wish that some of these people could just sit in our shoes for one season and see everything that goes on. And we're spending all this money to get to where we're at. And so I have, like myself, contract was just shy of $30,000. I think it was like $28,000
from all finish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All the printing for the autograph stock and everything.
I thought you told me it was only 20,000
with all the other shit.
Gotcha.
So you're printing all this stuff. By the time it was all said and done, it was $28,000. But I still didn't get paid.
That sucks, dude.
But when these teams are coming in like that, and I understand you want to come in, you want to throw your money around, do what you want, but make an impression.
Yeah.
Don't make a shitty impression.
Yeah, for sure.
Seeing a white sled right now makes me want to puke, to be honest with you. It pisses me off to see a white sled.
Even the one in Sweden? There's one in Sweden. There's an all-finished sled in Sweden.
Is there one in Sweden?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was walking through the pits of Duluth, and I'm seeing, like, white skid rails, and I'm like, damn it. But, when we look at that aspect of the teams, and they have to value everybody that's around them, when you're not valued, and they ask more out of you than what you're giving, it just burns you out really quick. You're not treated like a human being.
Right.
And I feel bad for some of those people that were with us on that last season. Because people weren't treated like they should have been treated, and people weren't taken care of, and shit, I had to turn around and pay for all my hotels.
Yeah.
Contract stated, you are required to book my rooms with the team.
Right.
Because it's an exclusive contract.
Yeah.
I'm not working for anybody else.
Right.
That contract is exclusive.
And that's fair.
And I had people that asked, can I buy this off you? Can I buy this off you? And they were friends of them, right? Like Szymanski's, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like Stacy sent me a message. I said, I'll just give you the pictures.
Yeah.
You're friends with them. I'm not going to make any money off you. I have a legal abiding contract that my attorney signed and notarized and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be that person to go behind somebody's back because we're operating a business.
Do you wish that you did now because you got burned, or no?
Oh, fuck yeah. I wish I would have done so many different things.
Were you listening to your gut or no? Because what was your gut telling you?
My gut was telling me do it, but my head was telling me don't do it.
Yeah. Within good faith.
Within good faith. But the big thing to touch on with that is, we set our contracts up for a certain amount of dollars. We know what we have to spend every winter out of our own pocket. For me to travel, it costs me $16,000.
I would say more so what you got to make.
There we go. What we got to make. Okay, so a $28,000 contract with everything is not much. That's nothing.
Right.
When we spend between hotels, flights, rental cars, 16 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have equipment, maintenance, new stuff we got to get.
Not even the miles on the car, dude.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
You know, that poor Corolla finally died.
Yeah.
That's
poor
a sad thing.
I'm gonna miss that Borla exhaust.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd your little Corolla go? Do you guys still have that? Or your Camry?
No, that was I traded that in for the van.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They docked you money because you didn't have a gas cap cover.
No, they did not. They actually gave me more money.
You know, but when we really look at the money aspect of it, we don't make that much. You know, we could be making more, but some of these teams are so tight with their money.
Yeah, they are.
You know, I don't. I mean, in your aspect, I mean, you got a lot of teams you work for,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people, and I don't want you to name names or anything. But I mean, you've had that issue too over the years with people
Not paying?
not paying?
I've had a few.
Yep.
I've had a few that I've had to hunt down for a little while. But more so in the last recent years, I haven't had the problem because I make it very cut clear to them that this is how it's going to go, and you don't follow these guidelines, and I'm not giving you any sort of content, even if it is halfway through the season and I have the first half of the payment. You are not going to get the second half of the season unless you pay, you know. So that's how I do it. But I haven't had any problems. In the last couple of years. Actually, I shouldn't even say that, because when I started in 18, I've been paid, you know, every single time, whether it was every single weekend payment or every half, you know, first half of the season or second half of the season. Because everybody that I know, or that I deal with, that I should say, I treat them with respect, and I you know, expect the same thing. So
Right.
I make that pretty clear. And if I feel like I'm lacking in some area, I tell them, or I'll kind of give them a little bit of a discount, but majority of the time that doesn't happen. But I haven't had anybody that doesn't pay, you know, maybe one, but they're always like, yeah, I'll get you next week. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. That one's like hard to distinguish.
I think I was just trying to be a nice person with stuff. I wasn't gonna hunt people down. I wasn't gonna do this, but at the same time, it's our livelihood.
Yeah, and that's how you make your money, dude.
Right.
You know, how would a team feel if their sponsor wasn't giving them their stuff that they needed to operate, you know? So you gotta act like, it's gonna sound funny, but you gotta act like you're selling drugs. Like, this is your jam, dude. Yeah, for real. So, you know, you want your money, you want your content. We got to work together here. One hand washes the other, and we can't play games with each other, or it's not going to have a healthy relationship, and we're just going to look at each other in the pits and give each other smugs. You know, so like, that's just the way that I don't think anybody should burn anybody, especially in the position that you were in with your recent team last season or the season before.
And especially with like that team too, when you come in so hot and heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
As they did, bought everybody up.
Yep.
And all you want to do is win.
Cool. It's going to come with a price tag.
It's going to come with a price tag. And then when you don't win,
yeah,
you know, here's a good person, for example, is Steve Schuring. Okay. His first couple of years, they never won a race.
Right.
And he's been around since
It's going on like as long as Juddy. So Juddy's been racing professional snowcross for 17 years, I do believe.
Yeah, and we just when somebody like that comes in and spends all this money and they want to win and they got this program and this and that, And then they don't win, and they start blaming it on everybody, right?
Right.
It gets into the rider's head, it gets into the crew's head, the team manager's head, so on and so forth. And you're just going to ruin everybody.
Yeah.
And then you just want to dump everything and get out of it because you weren't winning.
Yeah. And you spent all this money and you're a sore loser.
Ain't wrong there.
Yeah.
But I don't, that I have an issue with.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
I would too.
I have a big issue with it. When somebody's got money like that.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. But when you look at people like Juddy and Schuring, they just keep their program rolling.
Yeah.
Right? There's people that come and go because, like Logie was retiring and, now Anson is over there, which great for him.
Yeah. He's
got the support and they're not pushing anybody to do anything they don't want to do.
Right.
I just felt bad for everybody, but
yeah, but they were in the same position as you were.
Everybody, right? Right. And I think I'm the one that I just said, "Fuck it." I jumped in my car and drove the 11 hours home that day. I didn't even go to the banquet.
No.
Had my suit and everything in the car. I said, "Fuck this, we're gone." Jumped in the car. See you guys never.
See you guys never. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the how would you say it? Dealing with people and making sure that they understand is a whole different side of the media world, because some people don't see it like we do, and they don't see, oh, you're just here to do your job and you're gonna click a button and that's it, and then I'm gonna get my content. It's not just that. It's a relationship standpoint and making sure that your obligations, like you said, are filled with your sponsorships and stuff like that, and then to leave a bad taste in your mouth is like, I don't know, a shot in the back. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where I fight with that issue. I don't know if it's like a mental game or what, but which it is.
Yeah.
Year after year we fought and had issues and you know it all. You've heard me talk about it and everything from
For sure.
When we were from day one to where we're at now. You've heard it all from me.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Yep.
But I think it's just a big deal that's what was holding me back.
Well, now you have free reign to do whatever you want.
I know, right?
You don't have to be held accountable for
somebody else's shit.
Well, yeah, and having the money dangled in front of you, hoping that you're going to get it one day, and then you're not.
And you're not.
Mm-hmm. So back to square one, you can build your own portfolio back up, and you can build your own self-worth back up. I shouldn't say self-worth. I mean your self-content delivery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a big thing now where I'm at too. Taking a season off was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of made me realize, like, oh, you had it made. You literally have had it made the last 3 winters. Because you've been all over the country, you've been doing fun things, you've been doing this, doing that. And this winter I'm like, cool, we're sitting at home watching it.
Yeah.
But it also made me realize that maybe this summer we should do something.
Mm-hmm.
Walk into my office every day and my Pelican case is sitting there with cameras in it and drones and this and that, and it's like, part of me says, why the fuck do I even own it?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it says, you have it, go do something.
Right. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Well, we'll see.
Maybe that's your accomplishment.
What?
Acquiring camera equipment.
Oh, God,
over the years.
So we literally had just moved, and I found, what was it, an old Nikon D610, I think? Completely forgot I had it. There was also a 70 to 200. There was a couple grand worth of stuff just sitting there in a box. Completely forgot about it. Again, you acquire so much shit when we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Memory cards, too. There was probably $600-$700 in memory cards in the box.
Dang.
I'm like, well, that's where those went.
That's insane.
So, yeah. What else?
I don't know, man.
What? Okay, this one's kind of it's more personal. What do you miss about me not being around? I know what you enjoy because when we go travel and whatnot, you don't have to hear me saw logs, but like
logs.
what do you, when I was around and when we did travel, what do you miss about me not being around?
I think just having a friend there, and being able to do things with somebody else, and just enjoying. I don't know. I think just having a friend there and just being able to do things with another person. You know what I'm saying? It's a relationship, man. It's a friendship. It's everything. Not that we cuddle together, get together, or anything like that. Or
We may have spooned a time or two.
or I may have touched your beard, but I think it's more so just the friendship part. Because we went to Deadwood. We went to Deadwood. And we would go downtown and we would just hang out. We would eat some good food and we would just shoot the shit. And I think the most memorable part, you're gonna laugh at this one,
Oh boy.
but going downtown shooting and then having Gary Walton
Yeah.
walk by us. Hey, what are you guys doing? Well, we're working. Oh, that's why are you doing that? Because we have to, or we're just trying to be ahead of the game. But like those are the things that I kind of miss.
Yep.
Is like going to the track and then like us meeting up and being like, yo, what are you doing today? I don't know. I'm gonna go shoot in this corner over here and I'm gonna go in the trailer and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and having a travel partner.
Yeah.
I think those are the things that I really miss because we did so much in 2 years.
Oh, dude, we did. More than a lot of people. Shit, we did more than a married couple does in 2 years.
You calling us married?
Well, we maybe. That's kind of gay, but hey, it's 2024.
As you swing your leg over.
I have to agree with you. I'll just be honest. So, I'm from town here.
Yep.
I never cared about hanging out with people after high school or anything. The racing community was the friends.
Right.
And I felt that we removed ourselves from it, but I miss all the stupid shit we do.
Yeah.
I miss getting a Snapchat from Joey at, 2:30 in the morning and he's standing on a bar somewhere after they closed, or, I'll never forget, we went to Geneva the one year and they had went out and partied the night before and me and you were up late working.
Mm-hmm.
Joey comes in the next day and he's just laying there and we're like, what's going on? He goes, oh, I had a rough night. And that was just the dumb stuff.
That was when he was on the hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or ERX.
ERX and he's feeding the fish.
He was feeding the fish in ERX. Yep. I think, again, it's just the friendship and the camaraderie, and that I do miss.
Yeah, for sure.
For
sure.
And like you said, just the surrounding people, you made an impact on people that care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of the same way. I just do miss traveling across country, but I don't miss driving through the night. Those sucked. But
sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you don't. The year after you were done, it was that you went to Deadwood. We drove to Deadwood, and then you drove back with Taylor,
mm-hmm.
and I had to drive back myself, and I drove maybe an hour, 2
mm-hmm.
into the night. I had to pull off because I was so tired.
Yeah, you didn't have somebody there to keep you awake.
Well, it was just I was so beat.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like working freaking 12 hours a day is draining, and then you got to drive 8 hours back.
I know that one. I probably made it about an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Deadwood, and I had to pull over and make her drive the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was in my garage. I'm like, sweet, we're home. It's like time travel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude, I miss all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. you never know.
Well, maybe we'll see you back next year.
Maybe.
We'll see if I could. I don't know if you want to help me out. It all depends on what you want to do, and
Right.
the door's always open, man.
Yeah.
The door's always open. I'm never gonna say no, because I don't know what next year holds, but I know that I'm going full bore again, and the people that I'm working for are all in as well, and I look forward to. I don't even know. Just having another kick-ass season in snowcross and making badass content, and I'd like to see you back on the track.
Yeah, and even my wife Taylor, she made the comment too. She goes, we went to Duluth, and you said you felt out of place. She goes, but you felt out of place because you haven't seen any of these people for a year. She goes, so you weren't your normal self.
And you're standing in the stands.
Well, yeah, that was painful. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
It sucks. Start a shotgun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you couldn't be yourself because you weren't around your people.
Right.
But then when I was walking through the pits, and it kind of made me realize that, oh shit, so I was in and out of semis left and right, and
right.
What are you doing here? You didn't tell us you were coming. Well, I shouldn't have to. You're not my mom. But at the same
Right.
time, I was like, it kind of felt nice,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, I'm not going to say I'm never going to go back. There's always a possibility.
For sure.
But you might just have to tug both arms instead of one.
Hey, man, whatever. Whatever.
How long have we been running this thing? Hour?
It's about going hour and 36 minutes.
Okay.
Not too much longer.
Yeah. So as we're coming to the end of this, there's so many people out there that want to get into motorsports, and they either just are starting into motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
As you and me have people that have been in motorsports I raced for 17 years. You did quads. You were out east. I was around here. It's been our lives, right?
For sure.
If you could give somebody who wants to get into it or somebody who's starting one positive piece of advice, what would it be? Other than don't?
No. One piece of advice for somebody getting into motorsports. It's going to sound so cliche, but have fun. I know everybody says it, from Justin Barcia to Eli Tomac to, everybody, but it's true. You want to have fun. You don't want to burn yourself out. You just kind of want to just if you're not having fun, don't do it. But if you're having fun, you're gonna love it even more in the long run.
I couldn't agree with you more, because we had a blast, and this one hits home a little bit because this person was so close to both of us. The season that we had the most fun was Pete's last season.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Because Zach was around and Pete was around, and I'm like,
yeah,
motherfucker.
I know. That was a good year.
I'll never forget the old fart yelled at me because I got him a Pepsi instead of a Coke at Deadwood. And I was, listen here. And I'm like, now I just hear that from time to time, and I'm like, we did have a good time. And that's, like you said, you need to have some fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't overwork it.
Right.
I see it happen so many times. And like myself, for example, you work your ass off to get to where you are, and then because you lose the ambition, you lose the motivation, you're burnt out because you're doing so much for so little.
Right.
Just don't do what you're capable of doing. Don't overdo it.
Yeah, for sure. And don't even think about, again, it's going to sound cliche, but in my position, I don't really think about the money aspect. I think about helping people.
Yep.
And I just want to help people bring their vision to life. And within that, it helps me keep the fun alive. because I'm not just there for a paycheck. I'm not there to grab money. I'm not there to be like, oh, I'm gonna make $80,000 to $90,000 a season. I'm there to help people and build that relationship with people, and ultimately it helps me level up. You know what I'm saying? So, to tail off of that, Pete was a great guy. I always saw him. We always saw him. I saw him at Champ Off-Road. He had a great fan base. He had such a great relationship with everybody. He left such a legacy and it impacted on everybody. So, and he had fun.
Oh, dude, he had a blast.
He had fun.
He's one of those that he could have gave a shit less about the money.
Yeah.
You would go say hi to him, or he'd come over and say hi to you. He would have no issue sparking a conversation up for a half an hour.
Right.
And we would just sit there and bullshit.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that I truly enjoyed with him, is because I'm not saying he didn't care, but he didn't care about everything else. He was just there to have a good time.
Yeah.
And
R.I.P. to Pete.
Pete, we miss you. Yeah, that was one of those seasons that we.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's just. I agree with you on that. Just have fun. We see so many people out there coming and going, and the reason they go is because they're not having fun.
Right.
And now what's going to happen to them? Hi, me. I'm right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Dude, I got nothing else.
No?
All that it is I miss the Snowcross family. I miss my narc boys.
With all the times that you said you missed them, I think it's time for you to come back.
I didn't even tell Snowflake I was going to Duluth, and when he saw me at the end, it's the last day and I'm just seeing you. I said, and I'm going home tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. See you later, buddy. Maybe I'll come around more next winter. Maybe just a little more instead of 16 hours. But I truly miss the people. If I did come back, it'd be all different. Start fresh.
There you go.
Yep. Got to be optimistic about it. And the other thing, that if the one piece of advice that I have for somebody, and you have told me this, if you get a contract with a team, any team, do not work out of their semi ever, because it drags on you. It's a pain in the ass. You're in the way and you can't get your shit done. And after that last season I was around, I'll never work in a semi again. Nope. You just got to go get a pedal van and put my logo on it.
Hey, dude. You ever need candy? I got you.
You don't have any windows either, so.
I do. I got the rear ones in the side door.
Wow.
What are you talking about? And a big-ass windshield that's in the front.
But no, I got nothing else.
No?
This is one of those laid-back deals. You were in town already. Kind of just throwing stuff out there about people. I'm not one to sit and badmouth people, but when there's a time and place, there's a time and place. With that one with All Finished, when you just come in and everybody, when you left, everybody didn't like you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were happy to see it go because you came in guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
And shit, I have no hard feelings about that aspect. The only downfall is I got to drive past the damn building to get to the office in the morning. So brand new race shop sitting right there. There's nothing in it. So,
yeah.
No, this was just one of those nice laid back deals. You're already in town
for sure
doing stuff with Jamie, and I said, "Why don't you come over here? Let's do something."
Yeah, for sure.
But I got nothing else.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think so either. I guess we'll wrap it up.
We'll wrap it. Yeah, wrap it up, kids.
Oh God. All right, this is Yeah, I don't even know. This is Vignette Podcast. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. On any other podcast platforms, make sure to hit that like button and follow button too. So yeah, I appreciate you being on the podcast. Thanks for inviting me out all the way into Fargo, Tom.
It's nice out today.
Yes, it is. It's a little windy, but I'll take it. It's not cold.
It's not cold.
But I appreciate you being on the podcast, and hope to see you next season. If it's for one race, if it's for 3, if it's for 9, whatever. It's always good to see you around, and yeah, I hope something happens during the winter, and you can come back out to snowcross and whatever you find happiness in.
Well, thanks for being a pal, having me around, and we'll see what happens.